Hi, this is Tidra. It is Thursday, May 24th, and today I'm just going to do an update of my progress since my weight loss surgery. I had my surgery on March 23rd of this year. I had kind of a bad period, or a 3-week period, where I'd kind of hit a plateau and wasn't losing anything, but that seems to have I seem to have gotten over that. I'm losing weight again. And today I had a initial visit with part of the surgery packet at the surgery center I went to involves afterwards going to a Medi weight loss clinic to talk to the nutritionist. So I had my first visit with her today, and they weighed me, and I was, let's see, they give you a nice little slip with all the information. So I was 266.5 pounds this morning, which I had been sitting at 274.4 for 3 weeks. So I am thrilled to be moving in the right direction again. They also, I spoke to the nutritionist there. Her name was Dana. I'm not going to say her last name, just for privacy purposes. Dana. And she was great. Had a lot of helpful suggestions about things I could try to help boost my protein intake, because I mentioned that I was having trouble reaching my protein goals. And then, so we spoke with her for a while, and then they gave me, I think I mentioned this once before, that they were supposed to give me some stuff, and they gave me a ton of stuff. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff they gave me. First, they gave me this neat little cooler. That's just their logo on it, the Medi Clinic. And it's filled with all these little goodies. We have, this is a spill-proof water bottle. It's got a nice little thing at the top that you can drink out of. I don't know if it says, doesn't say how many, does it say on the bottom maybe? No, I'll have to figure out how many ounces this is, so that because I'm trying to keep track of that. So I'll have to figure that out. But that's a nice little water bottle. Then there was a food scale in it. Oops, let's see, a food scale. And a bottle of whey protein powder, which I'm going to see if this will work any better than I had tried the protein shakes that I was able to drink pre-surgery that now make me nauseous, so those are no good. I tried using soy milk. That was no good. That made me nauseous. So this is a whey product, though, which I don't think I've tried that yet. So I'm going to give this a try and see if this maybe won't make me nauseous. Because yeah, the taste hasn't really been the problem. It's been that after I drink this stuff that I don't feel good. So I'm gonna try this one and see if it'll be any different. So there's a big old jar of that. Some chewable multivitamins, which is really funny because I had been having trouble. I tried the liquid multivitamin. My mom got me a liquid multivitamin to try when I said I was having trouble with the pills that we'd gotten. And hold on a second. Caesar's having a problem. Sorry about that. I could hear Caesar having some sort of problem in the other room. So I think I was talking about the multivitamins and the issue I was having. I couldn't seem to take the course pill multivitamins and the calcium and vitamin D I was supposed to be taking. I was having trouble getting those pills down. So my mom had bought me some liquid multivitamin, and oh my god, that stuff is nasty. I only took it once. I could not take it again. So when I went last week for my 6-week follow-up at Dr. Hip's office, Terry, great nurse there, suggested she'd heard that they had some chewable, like gummy chewable multivitamins available now. So we went looking for those Tuesday of this week when I went to the grocery store with my mom. By the way, I have the best mom in the world. I'm just throwing that out there. And we found some what they call VitaCraves by One A Day, which are gummies that are a multivitamin. So I started taking those, and we also found a chewable combination of calcium and vitamin D. So I have been, for the last 2 days, able to take the vitamins I'm supposed to take. So that's great. But these are, I guess, they're multivitamins. So, and they're chewable. So when I run out of the other, we'll give these a try and see how they do. And if they don't work, at least we've got the other ones to go back to. I do have to the others because they try to make them palatable, so they have a little bit of flavor. They do have a little bit of calories with them, and so I'm just adding those. I started writing down, keeping a journal of everything I eat, the calories and the protein. Since when I went last week, I didn't. I went in looking for some suggestions because I wasn't getting enough protein, but I was just kind of keeping track in my head. I wasn't writing anything down, so I couldn't be real specific about, when I was talking with them about what I was taking in on a daily basis and that sort of thing. So it was hard for them to kind of give me suggestions without specific information. So I've just started keeping track of everything. How much I eat, what the portion is, how many calories are in it, how much protein's in it, that sort of thing. And I'm keeping it in a little notebook. But I also found a site online called medhelp.org, which is free. You just do a free registration. And they've got these really great trackers. They've got a weight tracker where you put in your weight, a water tracker so you can track your ounces. They have an exercise tracker where you can track how much exercise you're doing. And then they have a daily food diary where you can go in and put in each meal, what you ate at those meals. They have a database with some things already in it. You type it in like a search field, and you can look at what they've got available and see if it matches your criteria. And then if it doesn't, there's a list underneath of user input items, and sometimes those match. And if not, there's a button at the bottom where you can add the information right off your label and add it to your list. So if it's something that you're going to eat often, it's just down there and you can click Show My Foods and just add it automatically to a meal. And I really like that because at the end of the day, at the bottom, you've got the totals as far as how many calories you had for the day, how much protein you had for the day. And it's really simple to use and a lot easier to read than my chicken scratching. So that's nice and helpful. But anyway, back to the goodie bag. Not much more in it, but let's see. There's a pedometer, which I don't know a lot about how to use, but she says it's really easy to figure out, and there are instructions. So there's a little pedometer in there. And then there's, let me put these back in here, and there we go. A weight management journal, where they've got a calorie chart, and then they've got like, let's see, they've got a list of like the different kinds of foods and stuff. I know you can't see any details there, but like this column over here is very lean meats, which are 35 calories per ounce, and then it lists the meats that fall in that category. And then it's got lean, which is 55 calories per ounce, and then the items that fall in that category, and then medium fat type meats, which are 75 calories per ounce, and the things that fall into that category. So they've split it down into how many calories are in an ounce of each type, and then you've got your scale that you can use to figure out how many ounces you're eating and figure out how much it is. Then they also have on vegetables, they've got those down, and they list the ones that are lower in carbohydrates, so that you get a list of vegetables that aren't too bad as far as carbohydrates go. And the same thing with fruits. And I guess this is, they have it so that in the list you can get 5 grams. Okay, the vegetables are 5 grams of carbohydrates, 25 calories, and that's 1 cup raw or half a cup cooked. And then they list which vegetables would give you that. And then under fruits, they've got 15 grams of carbohydrates and 60 calories, and then which fruits and the amounts of each type that would give you that. So that's kind of neat. And then on the actual days where you start logging information, looks like what they've got is a place for you to put down your protein sources, when you had them, how much you had, how many calories, and oh, that's interesting, a hunger scale from 1 to 10, before you ate and after you ate. There's a place for the date. There's a place for you to mark your, up in the corner here. I don't think you can see these real well. I don't think it'll focus on them. There's glasses. You can check off each 8 ounces that you drink. And then down on the bottom, there's a place for you to put in what kind of physical activity you did. Over here is what kind of fruits or vegetables you ate. Whether you took, what kind of vitamins you took. And then I guess this is for foods that you ate that don't really fall into the protein or the vegetable type categories. So that's a really nice journal. I think I'll start using this instead of my notepad, just because it's real structured in how it's laid out, and it might be easier for me to fill out. Plus, I guess I go back there in 6 to 8 weeks, and they just kind of check on my progress and how it's going, and they're probably more used to seeing it in this format, so that'll be easier for them to look at. 2 more things that left that they gave me, which I thought were really neat. There's this bowl, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's got little marks for a half a cup, and a cup and a half. So when you do your thing, you can get your serving, you put your food in there, and you can see right on the side of the bowl how much it is. The other thing is a plate, which tells you the proportions you're supposed to be eating, as far as, which this is really cool. This much should be protein. This much should be carbohydrates. Oops, this direction, carbohydrates. And then over here, this much should be no starch vegetables and salad. And this is kind of neat. This is actually kind of a little bit bigger plate than I've been using, and a little bit bigger bowl than I've been using. But what's really nice about these is that they've got those markings on them, so you can see exactly that you've got your ratios right. So that's what they gave me this morning at the Mediclinic visit that I had. So that, oh yeah, I already showed you the bag. I'll put these down here. So that went really well. I'm feeling much better this week than I was last week after I had my visits at the doctor's. I was very upset after my last visit with the doctor's, because last Wednesday I was still sitting at the not having lost any weight for 3 weeks. And so I had been pleased that I had a doctor's visit so I could try and get some sort of input as to what I could do some suggestions about what I should do, because I've read the post-surgery book that they gave me. I do not know how many times. I've read it over and over again, each time I switched to a different stage in the follow-up. And I have been so careful to do exactly what the book said, and to be shooting for the amount of calories that the book said, and the amount of protein that the book said, and just really following it very, very closely, and have not cheated at all. And I got there to that appointment last week, and Terry was just as wonderful as she's always been. She was telling me, don't worry if you've hit a plateau, even though I was kind of concerned, because as a bypass patient as opposed to a lap band patient, I shouldn't really have been hitting a plateau that soon. And I should be losing more quickly than I have been, or I had been up to that point. Which, before I hit the plateau, I was losing just kind of like I was supposed to be. But then there was a 3-week period where just nothing was happening. The scale was just staying the same. And it shouldn't, I'm only just now 8 weeks out from the surgery. It shouldn't have been doing that. But Terry was telling me that sometimes, because that's such a major surgery, sometimes your body is still just figuring out how to deal with all the changes that have been made to it, and that I shouldn't really worry about it. And then I went in and saw the physician's assistant, who, she's kind of I really kind of thought maybe it was just me, but my mom noticed it too, and I noticed it when she was talking to other people, so I don't think it's just me. But she kind of comes across as having an attitude of, how did you let yourself get in this position? And when I was talking with her, it really came across like she thought, well, if I'm not losing at this point, then I must be cheating. And she didn't come right out and say that, but I said that I was shooting for the 1,000 calories that the book recommended, and she was like, oh, no. You shouldn't be eating more than 800 calories a day, and you shouldn't be shooting for 1,000, and that I was eating way too many carbs, and the carbs that I were eating was 1 piece of toast cut in half to be the bread for my ham sandwich at lunch, and 4 multigrain crackers that I was putting my tuna on, my afternoon snack. But apparently that was way too many carbs, and I shouldn't be eating any carbs at all. Anyway, she made me feel like she thought I'd been cheating because I wasn't losing weight, and I should have been. And that's kind of the attitude I kind of feel from her all the time. You know, like, you know, what are you doing that you weigh this much? And I'm sure that she's a lovely person, and I'm sure that she's a really good physician's assistant. I think maybe she shouldn't be working at an obesity clinic, because everybody she deals with is going to be heavy. And I can guarantee you that not one person in that office sat down when they were 5 years old and thought, let's see how fat I can get and then try and lose the weight. Nobody wants to be big. Nobody purposely tries to be big. And she really does come across as someone who just kind of looks down at you because you are big. I think she needs to be in a different setting. She's the only one in that office, in that entire office, that you get that vibe from. Everybody else just wants to be helpful and help you succeed at losing the weight. After I talked to her, I talked to the nutritionist, Beverly, who is awesome. Terry and Beverly are just awesome. She suggested maybe I could try more vegetables, which I knew I wasn't getting enough vegetables. And I'm still not getting enough vegetables. I don't really know what to do about it, because you're supposed to eat your protein first and then your vegetable. And by the time I've eaten my 1 serving of the protein, I'm full. I don't have any room for the vegetables. And you're not supposed to keep eating once you're full, because if you do that, it'll stretch the stomach pouch back out, which kind of completely defeats the purpose of having the surgery. So I tried instead, after I saw her, I tried substituting the vegetables for one of my snacks. And that worked, except that then my protein count for the day was way off. It was way lower than it was supposed to be. And she suggested that I try and keep my calories. It was funny. She said, maybe you should come down to 1,000. And I told her, you know, there is no coming down to 1,000, because I'm not even hitting the 1,000 yet. I was just trying to get to the 1,000 that the book suggested. So anyway, after that visit, I was really, really upset. I spent the afternoon off and on crying, because I kind of felt like I'd gotten one set of instructions from the book they gave me and a completely different set of instructions from the physician's assistant, and the weight wasn't going anywhere, and I was just very, very frustrated. So I started keeping the journal, because I wanted to be able, next time I go in and speak to that physician's assistant, to show her exactly what it was I was and wasn't getting. And so she said I should try to not go over 800. And the nutritionist said to try to get to 1,000. So I figured what I would do is I would compromise and try to get to 900, because that's just in the middle of what the two of them said. I'm not getting there. Let's see, the day I went there, I missed a meal because I was actually at the doctor's office during lunch. So, but I only had 530 calories and 37 protein that day. I think the protein was so low because I missed my lunch. So that wasn't that great. Next day, 625 calories, but 59 protein. So I'm shooting for 60, so 59 was pretty good. Next day, 585 calories, but 61 protein. So calories are still way low, but at least that day I did hit the protein goal. Next day, 627.5, and then 54 protein, which I figure if I'm getting in the 50s in the protein, I don't feel too bad about it. Next day, 584, 63. So you can see that I'm not even hitting the 800 mark, so it couldn't have been my calorie intake. I wasn't eating too many calories. 459 and 46, 465 and 52. Those were not good days. I was too low. Then yesterday, which was the first day that I no longer was eating with texture restrictions, I tried a couple different things to try and get closer, and I managed 712 calories and 53 grams of protein. So the protein still wasn't high enough, but I got closer to the calories that I was looking for. And then today we'll see how it goes today. I have been able for the past week to get half an hour of exercise in a day, either 30 minutes on my stationary bike or a walk with Caesar, and that's been good to be able to do that kind of consistently. Normally I do that in the morning, so I haven't done it yet today because I was at the doctor's appointment, so I'll try to do that this afternoon. But so I think overall I'm feeling better because the weight has started coming off again. Like I said last Wednesday on the doctor's scale, I was 273 point something. I think it was 0.6. But anyway, it was 273 point something. And then today at the Medi Clinic, it was 266.5. And so that's a week and a day. So that we're moving in the right direction again. It is moving. That was the main thing. I don't really care if I'm not losing a lot at a time as long as it's moving and moving in the right direction. So it's going well now. I'm feeling better. The nausea is not nearly what it had been. It's now mostly just maybe 10 to 15 minutes directly after I eat. I tend to feel a little bit nauseous, but the rest of the time I'm feeling pretty good. My water intake, I'm getting close to or just at 50 ounces a day, which is much better than the 24, so that's going good as well. Today I'm wearing the third shirt that I've worn recently that was too tight to wear before, but that I still had in my closet, and it's nice and roomy on me, and I'm down a size in my pants, so that's nice. So it's going really well, and I hope that everybody else who's either had the surgery or is about to have the surgery is doing well, and keep your spirits up and just do your best and don't beat yourself up if you have a little slip up or a little backslide. Just get back on the horse and do the best you can. So that's going to be it for this update. I hope everybody has a great day, and don't forget to breathe. Bye.